Hey guys, Chad Hoover, Kayak Bass and TV. So I am back at live Oak Plantation, Adel, Georgia. I'm hooking up with the YakAddicts. They're over there getting ready. You already know those guys, but today I'm also hooking up with Joseph. Everybody knows him as Joe Harrick from Catch Fish or Die Trying. So we're not gonna die trying. We're just gonna catch fish today. That's Joe right there in the Catch Fish or Die Trying Kia. Wait a second. Ain't that the car with the dancing hamsters? I mean, it's not what you expect him to be driving with a name like Catch Fish or Die Trying, but it got the kayaks here, so that's all that really matters. So there's the YakAddicts right there. That's supposed to be what's up, according to Everett, who, by the way, caught the least big fish the last time we filmed here, so I'm not sure how valid that endorsement is.
I'll let you.
And he's wearing a flat brim.
I'll even let you use it, bro.
Over the age of 29, wearing a flat brim. There also tends to be credibility issues once you pass the age of 29 and you're still wearing a flat brim. That's the line. Oh no, what y'all think? Maybe? Yes, no? Comment below. And then also, you know, they got the grease buddy on, the little tiny tires. That's like the little trailer that could. Going down the interstate, the back end's waggling, you know, but it gets the kayaks here, so. It's my good buddy Joe Harrick right here. Is it Harrick or Harrick? Or
Harrick.
Harrick, see?
Yeah.
I nailed it. We needed to clarify that so folks know how to say it correctly. So Joe, what are we doing today? Actually, before we even do that, tell everybody who you are.
I'm Joseph Harrick. I own Catch Fish or Die Trying. Working on getting a TV show put together. YakAddicts, my boy Shane right here, he's one of the sponsors. But basically fishing's my life, just love fishing.
Where are you from?
West Virginia, up in
Hey, check this out. Smile real quick. Check out all them teeth from West Virginia right there. Look at that.
From that
got them all.
part.
Total stereotype.
What's
Total
up from
stereotype.
I'm up near Pittsburgh though.
Oh, so he's more like Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's what it is, the Pennsylvania influence.
Yeah, right there by Ohio too.
All right, so Joe's geared up. Got like 752 ounces of Gatorade.
Yep.
We're gonna go catch some bass. Yes, I got a nice lay down over here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come to the up sun side of it and go past it. And with the way that this wind is blowing, if this was a bait fish presentation, I would cast it from this side and bring it towards me because I would be worried about it being natural, kind of going with a little bit of wind-driven current that's in here. But since it's not, what I'm going to do is come up past it. I'm going to drop the power pole, which is going to allow me to swing around facing downwind, and then I'm going to make a cast to several of the trunks of these trees. It's 3 foot of water right here, which means this little side with the sun past straight overhead is going to be the side that warms the first. So I'm just going to drop the power pole here. I can even hit this grass over here on the right hand bank. Early in the morning, the west bank's going to get the most sun, but the bank that's going to retain the most sun over the course of the day in the wintertime is going to be this east facing bank because the sun sets in the west and it warms this bank pretty much all the way until dark, and that's going to retain the most heat you know, through the evening hours. So this fish will lay up in the shallow water and really absorb that extra heat. Right now we're looking at 65 degree water temperature. So it's not super cold, but it's just warmed up to 65. And of course that's surface temperature. So the water down a little deeper is definitely a little colder. But it's been in the high 50s, low 60s for the last week and a half, and it's just now starting to drop or raise up into that spawning window. So we just came from the St. John's River in Florida where the fish had spawned out, but up here a little further north, the water temperature is just getting into that range where they're pre-spawn. Some of them are fully, you know, engaged in the spawn, and they're staging on the trunks of these big old cypresses and near these big logs. In a traditional lake that is north and south facing, the northwest corner of the lake is going to fill first, but here we got one right here. There he is. So let me get this dude in and then we'll talk about what happened right here. He's going around the tree. Come on, guy. Oh, get around that tree. Oh, yeah. That is a chunk. Let me turn the underwater camera on so we can, let me just go ahead and bring him in. Yep, chill out, chill out. So he choked that beaver bait from culprit, and I was dead sticking it. And so what I mean by dead sticking, in case you're not familiar with the term, is basically just let it sit in place. And so as the temperatures are warming up and bass are really starting to define their spawning area, dead sticking or letting your lure just sit, and look at that, it's hit right in the corner of the mouth. I mean, it straight up grabbed it with a vengeance. It wasn't trying to pick it up and move it. They're still feeding up. The crawfish start emerging in this part of the country somewhere in that 58, 59, but really in that 62 to 66 water temperature range is when they really start to be emergent, really start to be moving around, and the bass just feed up on them. Good source of protein. That's a fat chunk, and get him back in the water. So one of the things I like to do when my bait's not moving, and when the bait not moving is kind of your better presentation, is to add a little scent. Actually, I like to do it all the time, but I think it's even more critical when you don't have action to elicit the strike. So let me get this bait re-rigged so I can get back in there and get another one, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this dark black June bug color works really well pretty much anywhere in the South, but Alabama and Georgia are just killer color. This BioEdge crayfish wand, especially with baits with any kind of ridging or texture, it holds in there really good. I get it up on the pinchers and, you know, kind of get it on there nice, and then when I'm throwing these baits out, I can either barely drag it along or let it sit dead stick, and when they swim up to it and they smell it, they taste, when they pick it up, it tastes real. Just adds that extra sense of realism, which makes them hold on to it. So we're going to get back in there and see if we can get another one. A little short. Let's see if one's on this sunny side though. That's where they tend to be this time of year. And even though I was a little short, if I let that bait sit there and the wind-driven current's going that way, it'll take that scent back to that tree, which could draw the fish out. Not real confident in that, but it's something that, you know, that definitely can happen. So I'm gonna give it a second, and if not, I'm gonna reel it back in and get it back where I think the fish is gonna be. Let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna cast over here to this outside tree first. That's on that a little bit more of an edge. So basically putting it in front of the tree, pulling it, letting the line out, letting it fall right down and settle on the front side, on the sunny side, where that dark trunk underwater is absorbing heat. Again, when you're fishing like this, you really want to move the lure with the rod and just barely move it, and then take up the slack with the reel. You don't want to move the lure with the reel because you'll pretty much have it out of the strike zone with one crank of the reel handle. I'm going to go back over here by this log. Hop up my power pole, head over here and get a little closer. As you can see, coming around the corner right here, we'll go ahead and bring the nose around. There's a nice log right there, which means, you know, somewhere around it, but based on the way that the root structure is set up, it's laying this way. We'll cast over here to 45 to it and a little past it. And I'll basically just let the bait swing in to the front side of the trunk. See if there's a fish there. Nobody home. it really doesn't take a whole heck of a lot of time. I cast past it this time. I'm gonna bring it in. Once it hits the bottom, I'm gonna kind of scoot it around the tree and let it sit where I think the fish is gonna be. There ought to be somebody home. Home on that one. Let's get on the other side over there. Bring it into the front side, actually on the sunny side instead of near it. Sometimes it's just a matter of a few feet one way or the other between catching them and not catching them. So I'm doing this real time and showing you a lot of the footage so you can see the process of I cast behind the tree, nothing. Over here on the shady side, nothing. Directly at the tree, nothing. Over to the right, too far around, and then this time I cast past it, the sun's hitting that face. I'm gonna bring it into the sunny side of that tree and see if anybody's home. So if you notice on that cast, I made it to this side of the tree, which that's the sunny side. So what I'm gonna do is show you the difference between where you should cast and where you shouldn't cast. Everybody wants to throw right at the tree, and if you've got a heavy weight and it hits the tree and goes straight down the trunk, then you'll have a lot of success. But if you cast past the tree, oh, just like that, and you actually bring it to the tree, you're always gonna catch fish in a warming trend on the sunny side of the tree. So there's a perfect example in real time, the difference between casting. Yeah, baby. That's right. Live Oak Plantation right there. Ha, a little chunk off the front of the tree. Right where I knew he would be. Look at that junk right there. He inhaled that lizard. We know the fish are on the deep wood just off the bank. And haven't caught a big female yet. So let's pull into the bank and let's see if we've got some big females that have already moved shallow and starting to establish their kind of their spawn zone, and see if we can't find a big old girl here at Live Oak Plantation. See that? That fish hit that as soon as it hit the water. I mean, it hadn't even landed hardly. Definitely hadn't started moving it yet. That choker inhaled that frog right out of the gate. Haha. Well, so that's what I wanted to know. There's some fish shallow. So what I'm gonna do is head back out here and try to work these deeper edges. Cast out past it, let it fall, bring it past it to the sunny side, and they're going to be on the front side of that dark tree warming themselves. I can see a couple that just kind of breached up here. So we're just working our way through this. There's a little ridge here that runs through here. It looks like it might have been an old dam before they built the lake. And so fish will really spawn on that northwest corner of any kind of structural change if they got hard bottom. And it looks like I've got a little ridge running across the body of water here. And so that's gonna put the fish, if they're starting to spawn yet, over in that corner right there. If they're not spawning yet, the great thing about that is they'll stage on all of these big trunk trees. They'll stage on all these stumps. And if there's any laydowns out here, they'll also stage on that to feed up. So we're just gonna work our way across this little ridge. If you can kind of see it right here as these trees line up, that's making the what I consider the edge of the ledge, and some of these stumps are up on it. It's about 8 foot on that side, it's about 4 foot on that side, and 6 kind of right in the middle. So it's a nice little depression, nice little ridge with a dip on both sides, and there's a lot of cover up on the top of it. What I'm doing right now is dragging the bait along this ridge. It may look like I'm fishing kind of naked water, but there's a lot of cover, as you can see down here. I don't know if you can see the depth finder from this with this sun, but there's a lot of stick ups and covers and lay down and trees and stuff. Matter of fact, there's one right here beside me. I'm gonna kind of go ahead and cast to a little further out. You can see something sticking up on it, and then the tree goes back over that way. Here we go. Oh no! Oh, that was a good fish, and I just broke it off. Well, guys, that's sometimes how it goes. I broke the biggest fish off that day because I didn't retie my knot. I knew I should have. Only had a couple hours to fish, so I was in a hurry. If you ever got a question whether or not you should retie your knot, retie your knot. It's going to cost you that fish of a lifetime. You know, I did everything I needed to do. I found the fish. This format's a little bit longer. I let it run so you could hear what I was talking about, see what I was doing. I actually broke the water down in ways that a lot of guys do, so that I can show you where sometimes you're fishing empty water and give you the methodology and the way that I actually approach finding where fish are, so that once I catch them in a particular spot, I can duplicate that spot after spot and put more fish in the boat. So hope you enjoy this format of the toad trips. Do me a favor, comment below and tell me what you think. If you like it, if you don't like it, if you'd like me to do something different, we're gonna switch the camera angles up a little bit more next time so you can see what I'm doing, how I'm setting the hook, and how I'm working the rod. So I'm definitely gonna change that up. Only had a couple hours to film this time. Got to thank Mr. Joseph Harrick and the guys from YakAddicts for having me down at Live Oak Plantation, Adel, Georgia. And give it a big thumbs up if you liked the video. And as always, please subscribe to Kayak Bassin TV.